Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. Been on the road a bit and I stopped by a couple of small town secondhand stores, those old school ones. Usually the crotchety old guy sitting on a stool, angry about the world, but loaded with stuff. The stores just oozing with all kinds of high-priced merchandise. But I found a few interesting tools that I thought I'd share with you. So let's get to it. The first one, I've got an old school, look at that snap-on script there. This is a brake adjustment spoon, and they usually come in sets. This one, looking at the date code here, I'm guessing it's one of three possible dates. The first date it's could be is 2028, but looking at the logo, I don't think this is from, that far in the future. However, it does match the 1948 logo, date code, and that would make sense with the logo. The only other option is the 1958 one, but I'm guessing it's the 48 from basically looking at the height and width of that kind of hourglass symbol. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I've had a proto here that is actually a pry bar, I believe. This old school proto, and I really like this thing. So this actually, I'm going to be using it as a pry bar. I don't know if it's a sacrilegious thing to grind that flat, but I won't do it until I need to. But otherwise, it's just a handy, good-sized pry bar. The old days, look at all those tool marks. Not a hard-use tool. But anyway, I thought that was kind of a neat one. Another was this. This is the Canipex 1099 plier, and this thing, it looks like a weird, cutting dike or something, but what it actually is an ear clamp plier, and this is a dual directional one, or you can use it with the O-ticker clamps. Basically, I looked all over for one. In fact, I thought I've got to have I have a ton of, plumbing linkage, different things for moving fluids around, moving air around. I looked here, I went out to the garage and grabbed my big set at this location and dug around. Tons of hose clamps, manifolds, but I couldn't find any of the ear clamps, so oh well. I'll use use a small hose clamp just to kind of show you. But what this is a way of kind of pinching the ears. So if you look at a standard clamp, ear clamp, it has little kind of like metal ears sticking out on the sides that you can smash flat, which tightens it, and because of the geometry it actually holds the clamp closed. So what this does is allows you to grab and smash the ears. So I've got a side one here. I could grab it that way, or I can grab it at the top, and so it's got enough room inside that if I was going to crunch that. Anyway, they're not super expensive. They're like 29 bucks new. But I actually do occasionally use the ear clamps, and I don't have ear clamp pliers. Instead, I often was carefully using a pair of dikes like these. These are cutters. I have, if it's within the PEX size, I can use like PEX pliers like these guys. These Shark Bites. Shark Bite and Apollo make some good pinch pliers like that. But anyway, this one, you notice on this Mac, if I snip this, it just cuts the wire like no problem. But if I use these, what happens is it just kind of scores it. Or if I go in on the side, it just smashes it. So you can see that. So they're not cutters. They look like dikes, but they're not. Let's see, in the next one, I got a couple of pairs of interesting pliers. These are old school Craftsman. And what they are, if you look at kind of a standard channel lock, you get about a 45-degree angle. However, these are almost vertical. I don't know, it might be about 5 degrees, 10 degrees, something like that. Because sometimes you want a large grabbing, but you have to go in at an angle to get the, you know, to go in. So let's say there's a bolt in a slot, and you can't get these in because of this sideways angle. So here's a solution. This one goes pretty much straight in, which is kind of interesting. I like that idea, and it's a triple joint, and I'm finding a lot of triple joints lately in the old school realm. So Snap-on must have brought it back. We'll see. Anyway, look at those jaws. Look at how aggressive those things are. So you got these really fine ones up at the top, and then these super beefy ones there. But anyway, thought those were kind of neat. And then along that same theme, here's a set of Parrot Heads, which are almost 90 degrees. So we've got, you can kind of see the difference here between all these. This one I've had, obviously. So vertical to 45 to 90. I thought maybe these might work as a battery plier too. Look at that overbite. Not as big once you're out. But you can get a vertical or a horizontal jaw grab with these at different sizes. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, I wondered if they'd work as battery terminal pliers. I played around with it on a mock-up here, but no, they can grab it, but there's so much meat up here that it's a little tough to turn it very far. So anyway, I thought these were kind of a unique design. Parrot Head's been around a while. I'm not sure if they're still in business. They might have sold out to somebody, but they were kind of messed up, dirty. So I worked on them a little bit, get them back up to worthwhile. That's a screwdriver down there. Anyway, worthwhile condition. So let's see, the last thing was this. And this is one of those old Snap-on boxes that contains some sockets. But there's more to this story. First of all, this is a really good shaped box. I'm not going to use it to hold sockets. I'm just showing you how I got it. And the gentleman who previously owned it, I guess, or one of the past owners, actually lightly engraved his name up here and the city and the state he lives in. So he put a bunch of identifying stuff. I decided to cover it up because I don't know if he wants it out on YouTube. But anyway, I thought, okay, I've got a handle like this, but kind of nice. This is an old school similar one, 1/4-inch drive, a little bit longer on the one I just got. And this one has a place for either an extension or like a breaker bar for more leverage. This one doesn't. This is my newer one here, a little longer, but similar. Anyway, those always come in handy. I don't mind keeping them separate from the sockets they came with. But as I looked at this a little closer, okay, nice swivel, that's great. And then I looked at some of these. They're old 6 points, they're SAE, 3/16, etc. What's this guy here? This one's 9/32. Then something interesting happened. Keep going. And then, what's that? What's that? What's that? Those are 8-point sockets. 8-point sockets in the 1/4-inch drive. And then this one's a standard 1/2-inch 6-point. But these right here are called double squares. There are triple squares and double squares. This particular set of 3 is the entire Snap-on 1/4-inch double square line. And the double squares, you don't see them very often. But what they were for was generally square bolts, which were used on old tractors, furniture, things like that. Look at that fit right there. That is rock solid on a square. It doesn't work as well in a, let's see if we can see that. in a regular socket. This is the one that it would take, would be a 1/2 inch, but there's still a lot of, we'll try to get that lined up, still a lot of play. Whereas the grab on this double square is kind of amazing. Let me take the bolt out and just drop it in there so you can see. Grabs it rock solid. They do make larger ones with 3/8 drive for bigger bolts. You unscrew that guy so you can see smaller one, smaller square nut. Just holds it. Maybe I can go in this side and manipulate it so you can see better. You see how that just grabs it so tight. Pretty neat. I don't know. Occasionally I do end up running across these square bolts on older furniture and things. I don't know if I run across them on a tractor in a long time. I usually swap them out if I have a choice. But anyway, these double squares were kind of a treat because I got to learn a little bit more about them. The sizes here. This is a 3/8 double square. This is the smallest one is a 1/4 inch double square, and this medium-sized one is a 5/8 double square. But obviously the prior owner needed a little thinner wall for whatever his job was, so it's been ground down. Probably put it on a bench grinder and spun it or something. But anyway, it's a set that I don't mind having, but it's I'm not sure when I'll use it. Maybe all of a sudden I'll notice square nuts all over the place. But this is by far the biggest nut I can use. So I really need to have the larger set for most of the stuff I encounter. But I love this little case. You can see KRA 255. Most of these, when I get them or see them, they're all either rusted out or scratched. I'm not sure what I'll do. The design of this is a little U-shaped piece of metal that's just been welded in. And at a slight angle, I guess there must have been a lot more pieces. But anyway, that's kind of neat. I like the old logo Snap-on stuff. But anyway, that was my my treasures from my road trip. And I enjoyed digging around looking for different things, and then having to learn a little bit more about them. This is, by the way, the B3404B, which is still made today. Anyway, with that, Doc out.